What's up, sports bettors? I have 5 player props on PrizePicks. Let's just get into it. Let's start out with our first pick, which is going to be Kucherov over 3 shots on goal on PrizePicks. So this is called the screen on odds jam. It works for any market, any sport you want to look at, but I find a lot of value in NHL shot on goal props, so that's what we're looking at. And what you will notice is Kucherov's line on PrizePicks is over under 3 shots on goal, right? So Underdog Fantasy, a direct competitor to PrizePicks, these platforms work almost in the exact same ways. Their line is at 3.5, and all of the sports books have the line at 3.5 as well, without much juice, right? There's not much juice towards the under. PointsBet, for example, has the same odds on the over and the under for Kucherov over under 3.5 shots on goal. It's minus 120, minus 120. So PrizePicks is too low, right? All of the sports books, every other data point, and remember that sportsbook odds encompass everything, right? All available information in the market. Because a lot of people will comment and they'll be like, oh, did you know this player's not playing for the Lightning tonight? It's like, that's already priced into the market. Sportsbooks already know, sports bettors already know. Any public information is already reflected in the odds in where sportsbooks are setting the line. Right? So essentially, these sportsbooks invest hundreds of millions of dollars into their ability to set lines, and they all have the line at 3.5. Right? All these sportsbooks set lines independently because they want to be unique. They all have the line at 3.5, roughly similar odds. So it's pretty clear that PrizePicks is the pricing discrepancy, right? PrizePicks is too low. So we want to take the over 3 shot on goals. We found value, we found an edge. And a lot of people will be like, oh, as a sports bettor, it's all about knowing sports. No, it's not. Right? Like, you think the people making money in the financial world are the people who watch CNN all day and read Wall Street Bets? Give me a break, right? It's the quantitative hedge funds with access to data. Everything is about data. And in sports betting, you have hundreds of books all setting lines independently, all telling you where the line should be set, what the odds should be. So all we're doing as sharp bettors is picking off PrizePicks when they're screwing up, right? And here they're screwing up. They're way too low. Their line should be at 3.5. We caught them asleep at the wheel, and we found a play with an edge. Is it guaranteed to win? No. Is it a lock? No. I'll never use the word lock. It is a play with a mathematical edge, right? And a lot of people will also say, oh, 3 versus 3.5, psh, what's the difference? Well, the difference is if Kucherov has 3 shots, right, we're going to push on PrizePicks, so we're going to tie, right? So we're not going to lose. Our 5-leg parlay, our 5-pick flex will become a 4-pick flex if Kucherov has exactly 3 shots on goal. This is going to push. Whereas everyone else who took the over on a sports book or on Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks direct competitor, they're going to lose, right? So you may be like, oh, does that really happen that frequently? Well, look at his last 5 games. He had 3 shots in 2 of his last 5 games. So these are situations where we would have pushed, everyone else would have lost, right? We would have pushed with over 3, our 5-leg parlay becomes a 4-leg parlay, and we still have the opportunity to win, whereas anyone who took the over 3.5 on Underdog or a sportsbook is going to lose. So the next plays I went with are from the Odds Jam Positive EV tool. So there's a play on Ovechkin, but I already bet it and I already went through it. But Jamal Murray, under 22.5 points I ended up going with, as well as Jokic over 23.5 points, right? So these bets are positively correlated, right? Both players, so we can go to PrizePicks, I'll show my entry. Both players are on Denver, right? If Jokic is scoring all the points, then Murray's probably not scoring as many points. So if Jokic goes over, if Jokic has a big game and is taking a lot of shots and scoring a lot, it's more likely that Murray is going to go under, right? So we have positive correlation, as it's called, which is something to consider when you're playing player props in the same game. right? Like it's kind of like when we take Mahomes over in passing yards, Kelsey is more likely to go over in receiving yards, right? If Mahomes goes over and throws for 400 yards, then it's more likely Kelsey, his main target, is going to go over his receiving yards, stat line as well. So that's called correlation. But here you can see, okay, the reason I love this play so much is we're getting Murray, under 22.5 points at minus 119 odds. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker, pricing this at minus 151. So these are fantasy sites, right? NHA, Thrive, Underdog, Parlay Play. These are all fantasy sites, so we can kind of ignore them because they're like PrizePicks. They're not varying your payouts depending on if you select over or under. But you'll see here, Pinnacle has the under at minus 151, so the sharpest bookmaker out there, which we copy the odds for the odds jam column, they're pricing this at minus 151, right? And they're pricing the over at plus 114, so they have the under heavily favored, right? Minus 151 is a 1.5 to 1 favorite, so roughly 60% to hit. Right, so this is what we're looking for. We know in a 5 flex or a 6 flex on PrizePicks, we've gone through the math, that we're getting roughly minus 118.6 odds, minus 119 odds. We're conservative on odds jam, so for 5 or 6 pick flex, all the EV tool is doing is it's pulling in all the lines from PrizePicks, right? So it's taking all these lines from PrizePicks, shot on goal props, everything, updating thousands of odds in real time, doing the same thing for sportsbooks, and then it's just pointing out where the value is, right? So here for Jamal Murray, it's like, okay, the value's on his under 22.5 points, considering all the books have his under heavily favored, right? Bovada minus 130, Pinnacle sharpest bookmaker, so we put the most weight into their odds. They're pricing the under at minus 151. So just like a sophisticated investor is looking for value, you can see FanDuel minus 166, DraftKings minus 130. All the books have the under heavily favored. So just like a sophisticated investor looks for value, a real estate investor, a day trader, it's all about value, 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 finding an edge. It's no different as a sports bettor, right? We want to find value in the market, and we have hundreds of sports books telling us where the line should be set. And it's pretty clear that minus 119 on PrizePicks right here is an incredible play. I locked it in. Let's make money. Again, here's the play that we're on. 5 picks, 2 hockey props from the odds jam screen, 3 plays from the EV tool. Pretty easy. Let's make money.